If you're taking your dog swimming and you don't have somebody to help you take photos of you and your pups while you're playing in the water, one of the easiest things that you can do is to take your cell phone, set it on the cell phone tripod, turn it to cinematic mode, and just let it record. Now, the trick here is that you are going to be taking screenshots of this later. So this is not something that is going to be able to be blown up on a big canvas and put on your wall. It is going to be smaller content because it's cell phones. And you're going to have to angle it properly. So be aware of where you're going to be with your dogs. Sometimes we will try to get the big expanse of the pool and all the pretty backgrounds, but our dogs will stay very close to the stairs walking into this pool, and you're going to miss a lot of your shot. So you need to be mindful of where you are aiming this, and be aware you're probably going to be in the shallow end. You're probably going to be where your dog is going to be jumping in. So if your dog is going to walk in on the stairs, you need to be over in the shallow end of the pool. If your dog is going to be jumping on the side, maybe now you have more of an expanse that you can be, but you need to get it as low as possible so it is more of a straight on angle and less of a downward angle. And you need to make sure you're aiming it properly. And then every once in a while getting out of the pool to check to make sure you're kind of staying within the frame as you are swimming with your dogs, or adjusting your camera source so that it is pointing where you need to go. Now, you can't really be taking your own photos because by the time you are running in and out and doing all these things, it's going to be really hard to beat timers. If you do have a professional camera and you have a remote shutter release that's waterproof, now you have the ability to take your own photos, but that is a little bit more of a skill level. You kind of need to know what you're doing here. So for the majority of you, set up your phone on cinematic mode, rear-facing camera, and shoot into the pool, and then just check it every once in a while. At that point, you want to make sure, your camera source is as low to the ground as possible, but you also need to make sure it's far enough back that if your dogs are running around on the outside of the pool, they're not going to knock into it. So you have to be aware of where you're putting this, and I do recommend keeping it far enough away from the pool that if it tips over, it's not going in the pool. You can also put a chair up against it, but make sure your chair is not in your video content. So just be mindful of where you're doing this or how you're doing this. If you're going to clip it to a table or you're going to put it on a lower tripod or a mount, just be very, very aware of what could potentially happen. See the hazards before they happen and prevent them. Because if your dogs are running around and they knock into it, what are you gonna do? You wanna make sure you're protecting that phone or the camera or whatever you happen to be using. But I love the idea of using just your cell phone and recording on cinematic mode so you get both beautiful video and you can take the screenshots for photos later on, getting you the exact right angles. We talk about this all the time. If you are taking content of your dog, and you need the exact right angle, or if you're in that content and you are maybe a little bit self-conscious about yourself or you don't know how to pose yourself, having it on record video and then taking screenshots, not quite as good quality as an actual professional camera, but still just as good quality as if you took a phone and took a photo on that phone, because they're not the best quality, no matter what phone it is. And you are then going to be able to use that for whatever you need. Just don't blow it up big on your wall and it'll be a little pixelated, but so is anything that comes from your cell phone. So with that in mind, you just want to make sure that you're kind of angling yourself toward the camera. It allows you to scroll through and pick those best angles. So if your arm is out to the side a little bit more, you've turned a little bit more, your expression's a little bit better, you have the ability to pick the exact screen you want without having missed anything. You've got it all there and ready to go. So just be aware of how you're doing this and then cheat yourself toward the camera. Make sure you're always turning your body to face the camera or your face toward the camera if you want to turn to a side profile so that you are happier with the way that your body is posed or whatever it happens to be. Have your hair in front of you if possible. If you have longer hair, it's going to show it off, especially in that mermaidy water. That is something that we want to do. And then angle your dogs toward the cameras. They're in the water. It's pretty easy to just spin them and redirect them a little bit. So you just want to be aware that the camera's there, that it's on, and that you're cheating toward the camera so that you're getting things that you could potentially be using as really great documentation. Have an outfit that helps you stand out against the water. I love yellow with blue. It is so pretty, but also things like pinks and reds and even greens are going to look nice with the blue, but things like yellow really stand out. So be mindful of that. Pay attention to how you are going to pop inside of this image, and then pay attention to your angles, because certain angles just aren't going to look pretty. So get your phone low, get it stabilized, and just let it roll as you are having fun playing and doing all the things. And then as you're walking around with your dogs, just kind of pop around and check the camera, make sure everything is good so that you know things are working. You don't want to spend an hour in the pool to realize that nothing worked for you. So just pay attention and try different angles. And if somebody's there to help you, just have them move it every once in a while, or you go up and move it. Very easy for you to do, very simple for you to be using. We've also done an episode recently on how to use a GoPro to take photos and videos in the pool, because this is designed to be in the water, to go under the water, to create really cool content. So when I go swimming, I set up my phones to make sure I have video and I record the whole thing or most of it. I take the GoPro in the water to get those splashing photos and videos, to get the underwater videos, and because I can then document me and my dog together and still see it on the front screen. And there's lots of options. So making sure you are documenting your time with your dog by yourself is easy. It's easy to do as long as you pay attention and you think through things beforehand, so that you can bring your tripod, so you can bring your GoPro, so that you can bring what you need, set it up at the very beginning, and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the time that you're playing. You can just have fun and enjoy and walk away with really great memories and content documented on your phone, on your cameras, on your GoPros, all the things that you need while you're swimming with your dog. Follow along for more tips and tricks on how you can level up dog swims, keeping your dog cool in the summer, fun enriching activities to do during the summer and all year round, as we continue to help you document your dog's life, travel with your dog, and give them the best life possible. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.